Welcome to Leader Lifestyle Hub. As we have set the target of completing 200 book summaries in the entire year, here comes the book number 177. Without any delay, let us start our journey. Summary number 177. The name of the book that we have today is How Will You Measure Your Life? Written by Clayton M. Christensen. The target audience of this book is 35-year-old successful manager who wants to start a family but is really going for his career right now, and a 55-year-old working wife who has not seen a lot of her childhood friends in a long time, and anyone who has given in to the temptation to do something just this once before. Let us see the small synopsis. How will you measure your life shows you how to sustain motivation at work and in life to spend your time on earth happily and fulfilled by focusing not just on money and your career, but your family, relationships, and personal well being as well. It's easier to hold principles 100% of the time. So, whatever the principles that you set, it is easier to hold the principles. Clayton M. Christensen is the world's leading authority on innovation, most notably due to his classic, The Innovator's Dilemma, just about the only business book Steve Jobs ever thought was valuable to him. How will you measure your life is more geared helping you balance professional life with the rest of it. It points out that counterintuitively taking time away from work for family, relationships, etc. can have a huge positive impact on your career and happiness in the long run. Because these benefits take a long time to shine through, it's hard to invest the time right now and trust the process, and this is where the book can help. I like how will you measure your life. The book's statement is not one you hear often these days. Less work, more family. I think I needed to hear that myself. Less work, more family. Less work, more family. I already reached out to some friends and will delete some contacts from my phone who are not valuable relationships and only take away from the important ones. A recommended read. Let us see the top 3 lessons from this book. Here are my 3 favorite lessons. Your relationships need your attention always, even though when you don't think they do. And the second important lesson is ask yourself what your job in relationship is to better understand others and intuitively do the right thing. And the third important lesson that we can take from here is don't fall into the trap of marginal thinking. Ready to find a new measure of your life? Here we go. Let us see each lesson in detail. Lesson number 1. Relationships constantly require your attention, even when it does not seem like it. Do you sometimes avoid going to family birthdays? Have you ever felt happy some important work thing happened right at the same time and gave you a good excuse not to go? Deep in our hearts, you and I know that the relationships with the people closest to us, our best friends and family, are the biggest source of our happiness. So, why don't we always dedicate the time they need to them? There are 2 reasons for this. Working more presents an immediate reward. It's really easy to see the benefit of an extra hour at work. You will do something that will advance your career and make you more money. And the second reason is those who you have your best relationships with never ask for your time. That's why they are the best. They just support you no matter what you do. So they don't ask for much. In a sense, great relationships are a paradox. They need consistent dedication and lots of effort, even when it seems they don't. It might seem like you can compensate less family time now for more later, but the truth is, damage done early can hardly be repaired in the later years. So now you need to focus on one statement, which is nothing but less work, more family. Let us see the lesson number 2. Build intuition and empathy by thinking of your family life as a job. So you need to build your intuition and empathy by thinking of your family life as a job. So what's one thing you can do to instantly improve your relationships and give them the attention they deserve is how about treating them like a job? Wait, what? Yep, that's right. Ironically, thinking of your relationships like you do about the thing you are supposed to give up a bit of work will actually make you better at them. Here is the single best question you can ask to improve any relationship. What job does X need me to do the most? Let me repeat the question. What job does Sam need me to do the most? X is the person in question. Could be your friend, your dad, your family as a whole, or your partner. What job does your partner need you to do the most? This flips the relationship on its head, approaching it from their perspective instead of yours, and forces you to dig deep of how you make your family relationship as a job. It helps understand the other party better and then come up with the good ways to fulfill your needs and their needs as well. The more often you do this, the better you will become at intuitively guessing what your spouse or son needs, which is a great recipe of a flourishing and loyal relationship for longer run. Let us move on to the lesson number 3. Avoid the trap of marginal thinking. One relationship we must not neglect in all this is the one you have with yourself, which is nothing but self-help. A really easy way to protect it all the times is to live with integrity. What you commit, you need to do. If your conscience is clear, you'll feel good about decisions you make and actions you take. And that's what makes those work out. For most people, integrity is the default setting. Where we wander off the path of doing what's right is where it's get icky. How you can avoid compromising of your integrity? How can you avoid compromising your integrity? Simple. Recognize marginal thinking and don't engage in it. So if you want to fulfill your integrity, recognize marginal thinking and don't engage in it. What is marginal thinking means? It is when all you think about are the edges of the situation, the best case situation and worst case situation. For example, Blockbuster was the incumbent in the movie rental market for a long time. So if you see any recent movie release, you will see that Blockbuster hit, Blockbuster sales, Blockbuster commercials. One day, a little company called Netflix started sending out DVDs via email and had customers return them that way. Weirdos, because they didn't want to pay the marginal costs of adding this service to their own portfolio of products. Blockbuster ended up paying the ultimate price instead. They went bankrupt in 2010. The same thing happens with morals. Let us see as an example. Many bankers in 2007 and 2008 thought it would not hurt if they covered their mortgage loans. Bad credibility, just this once, which of course completely spiraled and ended up with the world financial crisis because they didn't want to pay the marginal price of sucking up to a bad decision immediately. They completely lost their integrity in the long run. Simply recognizing when you are thinking marginally can make a huge difference and will help you avoid making decisions just to avoid consequences of others you have made previously. Let us repeat the 3 lessons that we learned. Your relationships need your attention. Always. There is no break in daily basis. You need to give your attention to your relationship apart from your work, even when you don't think they do. And the second important lesson that we need is ask yourself what your job in your relationship is. What is your roles and responsibilities in your relationship? Whether it may be your friend, whether it may be your family, whether it may be your colleague, whether it may be your partner, whoever it may be. Ask yourself, what is your role in your relationship and what are their responsibilities? To better understand others and intuitively do the right thing to the right person at the right time. And the third important lesson is, don't fall into the trap of marginal thinking. What is marginal thinking? It's when all you think about are the edges of the situation. So don't fall in the trap of edges situations, marginal thinking. Thank you so much. See you in another book summary tomorrow. Until then, stay connected, keep progressing, and do